Hello, my name's Jo Avery. Welcome to my schoolhouse presentation about my book, New Patchwork and Quilting Basics. This is actually happening in my very own schoolhouse. My husband has built this wonderful tiny house studio for me to teach from. I call it my Stitch Gathering Schoolhouse. And when this is all over, not this video, but our current situation, I'm going to be able to welcome students here from all over the world. But right now, it's a very useful empty space that I can display all my quilts and show you everything in my book. And you know, that's another advantage about this happening here rather than at Quilt Market. I could not have brought all of these models over there. They wouldn't have fitted in my case. But this way, you get to see them all here from my home. So, as I say, I'm Jo Avery. I'm based near Edinburgh. I have a store and a fabric shop and a studio that I teach in. I'm about to move everything here quite soon. I do travel and teach quite a bit. I was teaching at Quilt Festival in Houston last year. This is my first solo book. I'm very pleased with it. I hope you'll like it too. It came out in February. It's a basics book, so it's going to get people started with quilting. You know, we have to get new quilters started so that you keep your fabric shops customers coming back and new customers coming all the time. But it's not just a basics book. I wanted it to be an ambitious basics book. So we start off quite simple, but I didn't want to fill the book just with quick and easy quilts and projects because I would get bored with that sort of book myself when I started. So instead I've moved people along, it's taught them new skills so that they can work their way through this book, or they can come back to this book later, or perhaps they can already quilt but they want some really fun projects to make and they want to try out some new techniques they maybe haven't before. So let's take a look at what's in the book. First of all, as I say, we've got a really quite a good long chapter with all the basics in, but I have to say these are my favorite techniques that I've used, and I'm trying to teach things the way I like to do it, but also telling people to check out all the other ways of doing things so that they can find the way they do. I'm not wanting people to say you have to do everything my way. I really think that people can learn from a vast variety of sources, including your shops, and find the best way for them. And then we get on to a whole chapter on strips and squares. So in fact, we start off with a really nice, easy project, very fat quarter friendly. This just takes 13 fat quarters. It's a semi-four crib quilt. I wanted it to be nice and gender neutral, so red, white and blue is a fantastic colour palette for that. And this would make a fantastic first class for you to teach beginners. And then we go on to this quilt, which again I think would make a really wonderful evening class. It's deceptively simple. It's all done with strips and squares, and then the way it's pieced together makes it look like it's really quite a complex modern quilt, but it's incredibly simple to do. Again, it's very fat quarter friendly, 28 fat quarters plus the background yardage, so it would be a fantastic one to kit up, and I think it would make a really good evening class. And then we're on to our sort of 9 patch with a bit of a log cabin. This is again done, it looks like maybe you'd use Y seams for that, but no, we've done this in a very nice simple way. This is a lovely bright quilt. It's more of a single bed quilt. I think it would be great for a child, and another great starting quilt. The next section of the book is about triangles, and we start off with this very large modern and traditional mashup of a Tree of Paradise block, super scaled up to a whole quilt. All in red and white, so it has that really traditional feel, but the super scale makes it look very contemporary as well, I think. I've actually hand quilted all of this quilt. Again, this is very easy to do with half square triangles, and it would make a fantastic class too. After that, we've got some more half square triangles in this, which I think would make a great project for you to teach in your shop. This is a block keeper, and you know, if you're teaching lots of courses where people are collecting up blocks towards a sampler quilt or something, then this is a fantastic thing that they can make and then bring all their blocks along to the class with it. It's called my Pop Art Block Keeper. Let me show you. So it's made with flannel inside. And then the blocks can be held between these leaves, and you can keep quite a lot of different blocks in them. and it's a great way to store them at home as well. It's portable, but also it just makes great storage, and it's a really fun, different sort of project to teach. And then the next one in the triangle section, we're getting onto some flying geese, and we're learning how to do 4-in-1 no waste flying geese with this, my pinhole star quilt, which is really fun. And again, we make a great, very easy to kit up as well, that one. And then we get onto a skill building section where we branch away from simple patchwork and we try to learn some other things. So we've got a curved piecing quilt, which is the one model that C&T still have, so it's not here. We have some foundation paper piecing, and this is one of the projects. This is a notebook holder that I'm going to be doing a lesson plan for. This could be done in a 3 or 4 hour class, and it's a really nice introduction to foundation paper piecing, great for all your tiny scraps. I'm playing around with it at the moment, doing other stuff with the templates, and I've just completed these little trio of spool pin cushions, which I think are super cute. Just taking one of the spools from the notebook and putting some strips around them, and that's a really fun little project. I also created, just using one strip of 3, a nice pouch with it. So I'm going to be doing lots more stuff where I take templates from the book and turn them into more fun projects that you can use the book for. You can find me on Instagram at Jo Avery Stitch, where you can, that's a really good way of finding the links to all my other platforms, and that's where I share inspiration all the time, so keep an eye out for all the new inspirations I'm going to be doing with the quilts. Meanwhile, we have one more technique we cover in the skill building section, and it's applique. I love to needle turn applique, it's my favourite technique. So I've slanted it on this. I think it gets a bit overlooked. I do give instructions for raw edge applique as well, for fusible web applique, but I like to do everything by hand. I like a bit of slow stitching, I think it should be encouraged. My motto for this sort of approach to quilting is, it's not about destination, it's about the journey. Let's enjoy the journey, we don't have to hurry everything. So then what we have at the end of the book is we have what we call the mix and match section, where we take all the techniques we've learnt and we put them into 3 show-stopping intermediate quilts. These are the kind of things that any quilter could do no matter how long you've been quilting. First of all, we have the autumn leaves quilt. This is another one I'm going to be doing as a lesson plan. You can make this quilt in a day. I actually needle turn applique these, but if you decide to raw edge applique them, it's a simple, quick, very easy quilt to make. It's very fun. You can change up the leaves. It doesn't have to be autumn, they could be all green. This is inspired by our birch wood, which I'd love to show you. It's right outside here, and one of my favourites from the book. And then the next one is Pinball Wizard. So this quilt has been super popular. It's got a version of what I would call my modern pickle dish block and my modern double wedding ring block, mixed up together, creating this really vibrant, bright, almost psychedelic palette. You can do so much with these templates as well. You could take one of these, that could be a fantastic class just to do this and make it into a cushion. Really good introduction for foundation paper piecing and curve piecing for people. The same with the double wedding ring rounds. It's a really great scrap busting quilt as well, but also you can kit it. It would work fantastic in lots of in tuliping, something like that. And then lastly, we've got the bedding plants quilt. This is a row quilt that tries to use all of the techniques that we've covered in the book so far. So we've got foundation paper piecing, we have got curves, we've got half square triangles, we have got applique, and all sorts of squares and strips and everything. I'm going to be doing a sew along with this quilt in a few months' time, which will be hosted through my blog and through Instagram. I'm going to make up a very modern version of this. This is what I call a vintage version. This would be a fantastic quilt to kit. It's 28 fat quarters plus yardage, and you could do it with a range of really nice vintagey fabrics. There's so many out there. 1930s type style feed sack look, which is what I've used. These are Riley Blake fabrics. but I'm also going to make a really modern version, very bright fabrics, dark background, and I'm going to offer both of these in the sew along. So again, I think this would be great if you had the book and you wanted to get involved. You could do great classes with this as well, lots of techniques. You can also pick out any of these templates and make them into other things. You could mix up the different flowers for lovely pillows. That's the sort of things I'm going to be doing on my Instagram feed, so come and check me out over there. Remember, the book is called New Patchwork and Quilting Basics. It's available now, and I think it has so much to offer for beginners, getting new people involved in the craft, and also for people already quilting. Thanks very much.